What is up, y'all? It is your boy Winston Wolf. I'm back. I just want to do a quick review. Secret Invasion. I just. I woke up this morning. I knew I was going to be disappointed, which is terrible because you don't want to go into anything just automatically hating it. You know what I'm saying? It's like leaving the house with a gun. It's almost like you attract a problem to where you're going to need it most of the time, you know? But I'm not one of these reviewers that sit there, for the two people that care, I'm not one of these reviewers that sit there and celebrate how bad Marvel is, how bad Star Wars is, and while I'm doing it, I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt or I have a Marvel poster in the back where I have a bunch of, Marvel and Star Wars toys laying around. You want these things to get back to the former glory. It's like a family member that's a crackhead. You just remember the good times and you hope that there's some shred of their former self in there and that you might see it again one day. But it'll never be the same. When you think logically, it'll never be the same. The only way I think that Marvel can redeem himself, and Star Wars, like, you have Favreau and you have Filoni there. That's the only thing that's, for me, that I can hold on to, pause, with that. Because they already killed the Mandalorian. But with Marvel, it's just, there's nobody there. There's nobody on the comic end, as far as I can tell. When you have the Punisher, when they take the Punisher's, they took the Punisher's guns away. They took his logo away. What? So there's nobody on either side of Marvel. There's not, some kind of like sub-label of Marvel where they're holding down the tradition and keep, just hanging on to some shred. Marvel is just trash. Marvel's trash. But anyway, so I wake up this morning. I couldn't watch Secret Invasion last night because, unlike a lot of you that don't like me, I have a job. And I didn't get home. I had to drive all the way out to Detroit. So I'm not going to tell you where I live, but that's quite a while from where I live. So by the time I got home, it was just, nah. But I woke up this morning, watched Secret Invasion. It's terrible. The number one thing that bothers me about this is that it starts off and they try to make it look like a Russo brothers Marvel project. Off top. And that just shows you how clueless Marvel is, to where they're like, well, if we make it look like it. Okay, yeah, just to make it look like it. Forget the quality. Forget, the great direction. Forget, all, the great characters that you used to have and the great actors that you used to play. Yeah, forget all that. As long as we make it look like it, it's going to be passable. Yeah, because that's all the Russos are. And I know now they're flopping with everything, especially that garbage Citadel show and all that kind of stuff. But we're talking about Marvel Russos here. And Russos, please do not come back for Secret Wars, because everybody's sitting there, we want the Russos to come back. But what toys do they have to play with? It's going to be a bunch of female versions of characters that you used to love. That's it. What, a fake Captain America? No, it's Marvel's dead. They're as dead as Elvis. Just the only way they're ever going to redeem themselves is if Disney lowers the value of them so much. They're on track to doing that. And then some other company buys it and they just start from scratch. That's why I don't want to see any X-Men projects from them. I don't want to see Fantastic Four. I don't want to see any more things ruined. I fear for what Deadpool is going to be. But, so as soon as you start watching this, they try to make it look like a Russo's project. So automatically I'm like, okay, I know they didn't direct this. This is a problem. And they try to have the whole washed out color scheme, the grayish, dark blue. And they kind of have, when, there's like a scene, the camera kind of shakes a little bit. Whoever did this is just a scumbag. Because they really, really, really try to fool you into making you think that this is something Russo related. For the people that care. But, yeah, this isn't good. It's boring. You don't have, when you think of Secret Invasion, I didn't follow Secret Invasion that much, but whenever I would see it, I would see like Sue Storm, people like that. You would see characters. You would see, people with costumes. You would see things like that. It wasn't just about Nick Fury in a knitted cap. Like, I don't care about that. And also, setting it in England, I'm sorry. Whoever created this show, they must love, what is it, Downton Abbey or whatever and all that kind of stuff. The average person that's into Marvel, or I'm sorry, that used to be into Marvel, we don't care about these British shows. We don't. So when you set it in there, that automatically, when you put it in that setting, and we got to hear those accents, and we got to see these drab environments, we don't care. We tune out to that. And that's not, the aesthetics of it doesn't excite us. Sorry. Then they had where Nick Fury, he goes over to England or Russia or whatever, and he gets like kidnapped or whatever by the leader of their special forces or whatever, and they pull the mask off Fury's head, and whatever, they have a bag. You've seen it. They have a bag over his head, and they pull it off, and then so it's supposed to be like this big reveal, like, oh, it's this lady. And I'm sure she was like the star of some garbage British show or something like that. But the way they present it, it's like the average person. You're just like, and not even the average person, just people that are into just stuff that's good to watch. Not any British garbage. You're just like, who is this? You're making like, like this big reveal. Like I'm supposed to be like, oh my God, it's her from that show. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. And like I said, the environments, they're just boring. The characters are boring. When the fight scenes, I don't care how much frantic music you play and how much you shake the camera. If it's a lame fighting scene between two lame people, I don't care. And I'm sure other people don't care either. Khaleesi, who is her manager? Because they're batting 100 right now. It's like they're purposely picking the wrong projects for her. I feel bad. Because after this, nobody's going to want to see her in anything, because that's going to be a surefire way of knowing something is garbage if you see her in it. Straight up. The bad guy, the leader of the fake Drake, the leader of the other Skrulls or evil Skrulls, I don't know. I started to just absolutely zone out to what was going on, because this is so boring and so repetitive. Much like my reviews. But, the fake Drake, this guy with the messed up weird hairline, the caterpillar eyebrows, and the short upper lip, so it looks like he has Bucky Beaver teeth. This is, for some reason, Marvel with these shows gets the worst villains, to where it's not that interesting hate or anything like that. It's just, you're just questioning, like, why would that was the best choice they had? That was the best choice they had. Really? Okay. Wow. But it reminds me of Falcon and Winter Soldier, that weird-looking girl with all the freckles that, Hollywood keeps trying to cram down our throat. Pause. I don't know if that's pause-worthy, because she's a female, so I don't mind having females cram down my throat. But yeah, they just get the weirdest, just most unappealing people to look at. Where are they finding these people? Is it that whole thing where they just have these weirdos in charge that are like the same weirdos that think supermodels should look absolutely weird and ugly, that we actually want to see that? So they're carrying that over to actor? I don't know. It's just, all the choices in this are bad. And it just blows my mind that things like this reach this point. Because you would think, with just how many chefs have to be involved in this, with how much money is involved in this, that at some point before it gets to even getting before the camera, somebody's like, this isn't good. If we're going to do this and spend this much money and this much effort, we have literally thousands of other characters and stories that are far more appealing and better to tell than this. And also, enough with Samuel Jackson. I'm sorry that I feel like the same people that are in charge that keep putting him in things that think that we think he's cool are the same people that sit around the boardroom, the same old white guys that sit around the boardroom, and they're like, you know what? We have to make this hip. We have to make this cool. Do kids still use that word cool? Do they? We need to make this. Let's have that cool rapper that all the kids listen to, Ice-T, in this. Or the other Ice Cube. Yeah, the kids really love them. No. You're clueless. It's the same clueless people that keep putting Danny Trejo and everything. Nobody thinks, speaking of Danny Trejo, nobody thinks a 70-year-old, 4'3", wrinkly old man is cool or threatening or badass. I'm sorry. We don't. Get a clue. Same with Samuel Jackson. His whole thing, he jumped the shark with Snakes on a Plane. After that, we were like, okay, we get it. It's okay. The only thing he's even tolerable in is Tarantino projects. I think the last thing he was serviceable and tolerable in, he was good in Django Unchained. That's it. I can't. Hateful Eight. Can you name anything else in the last decade besides that he was good in? Go ahead. Tell me. But we just don't look at him as some awesome star. Same with Liam Neeson. We're not impressed by, a 79-year-old Irish guy with black shoe polish in his hair. Sorry. Get a clue. Secret Invasion Episode 1, really? You want me to give this a rating? Zero dog bones. It's trash. It's garbage. What? Are you gonna argue with me and say it isn't? I want someone to counter this and be like, no, it had an enthralling story and the acting was very intricate and subtle and shut up. Just shut up.